Hey guys, it's Lickingck here, and I'm doing some tips and tricks on survival games. Well, you could probably do it for PvP too. But one thing is knowing who your main enemies should be. So say this guy's a really good player, and I got off to a good start and got a sword, but he often kills me in the end. So what you want to do is you want to try and go for all the good players when they're still weak, because they'll get that advantage at some point where they can just kill you pretty much instantly, and you never want that to happen. Another thing is teammate distribution. So I have this variety of items. Now, what you want to do is try and give your teammate less things than you have. Give him some of your weaker things. As you know, you're going to have to fight him in the end if it's survival games. And you don't want him to have an advantage. And then a bit before the end, maybe in the final 5, just murder your friend. Now, of course, he's probably going to start yelling at you for killing him. But it's worth winning, other than your friend winning and killing you. So, inspire them after you die, and then just, completely kill them when the time comes. And another thing is knowing what your enemy has and what you don't. Say there's this guy who's my enemy. Now, he could just shoot me, and it would do quite a bit. So what you want to do is try to outmatch them. That was terrible aim. But you want to try and beat them in their own tactics. So pretty much what I'm trying to say is know what they have and what you don't. So if they have less items, like a wooden sword, you could just use not a lot of tactics to kill them. Maybe the jump to the left, maybe jump to the side move, but nothing else, no tricking them into pitfalls. Now if it's an enemy who has maybe a diamond sword and a lot of armor, you want to try and trick him into a pitfall, because then when the enemy has less than you, you just you try an item advantage. When they have more, you try a tactical advantage. And another thing is alliances. So when you're going up against an alliance, the items will often be distributed, so there will be that one dude with a bunch of terrible items. There will be the guy with maybe one piece of armor, a dude with no armor and a sword, a guy with some armor but no sword. So what you want to do is, if it's an alliance like that, try to take out the swordsman first, because he'll be the biggest problem. And then you try to confiscate the weapons from the team. So just take out the biggest priority guys, sword, armor, then food. So those are the 3 guys. That's the order you should kill. So first take out the dude with the sword, then take out the guy with the armor, because he'll have a bigger advantage when he gets a weapon. And kill the guy with the food, since he won't have much to fight with. He'll just be maybe a bit armored by the time you meet him again. Another thing is bows. So one thing you want to try is range combat. Because you never know when there's a dude chilling out next to a lava pool. So you want to know how distance works. See on his screen, I heard that shot land. And see, I'm sniping him. And that can actually strike a lot of confusion into them, because they won't know what's hitting them, and they'll be panicking. Like, see, I just sniped him in, like, I think it was 8 or 9 shots. So 10 shots, 2 hit him. So he'll probably have noticed what's going on within the first few shots. But if he hasn't, like he's a really dense child, then you could easily dispatch of him. And another thing is chests. Like, say there's a dude looting a chest. Now, what you want to do is try and get to his side so he doesn't see you. So then you can easily eliminate him. And then you check for opponents. It's kind of just like a little shoulder check. And then you loot. So like when there's nothing good. Now another tactic is to empty like all your wooden and leather stuff into a box somewhere. Cause then cause it won't be much of use of to a person when they find it. So they won't be very dangerous. They had like nothing and then they found you with that stuff. And another thing is golden apples. There's a dude in a golden apple, with a golden apple. Don't make your priority to hunt him down, since you'll pretty much be ripped off. But a golden apple, when you eat it, I think it'll heal up to like maybe 2 or 3 hearts after being eaten with its healing magic. So if you just finished the battle, you could use your golden apples. And another tip is running and jumping at the same time. Now, some people don't know this, but if you run and jump at the same time, you'll actually go a bit faster. Another thing is hunger. Like, most people underestimate their hunger bars, but it can be pretty helpful, because like if you're 2 bars down, you won't heal anymore. And then 3 or less, you'll be unable to sprint. So try to keep it above 2. Try to keep it above the 8 levels. So just don't let it drop below 8, because then you'll just stop healing. Wait, if some of you haven't noticed, this is actually my Minecraft server. It's a Hamachi server, and if I remember the password, I could tell it to you guys. Yeah, the only people actually play are me, my brother, my 2 cousins, and my older brother's girlfriend. Oh yeah, and my friend uses my older brother's account to play. Oh yeah, and another thing is the element of surprise. Like, say there's a dude hanging out by like a pit of lava. Or just a pit he can't get out of. And what you do is you want to like shoot him in the back like this. And then just toss him down there. And let him burn. Because he wasn't close enough to the edge to just fall in. So I had to hit him with my sword. And another thing is swimming. Because if you're swimming with someone, if you, while you're in water fighting, if you swim under a person, you'll actually get a huge advantage, because you'll be beneath them and they won't be able to hit you, but you can just repeatedly stab their feet. Oh yeah, and there's hiding in the trees. This is pretty useful. Like, if a guy in the server says come to the middle or something, you stay in the trees if there are any. because it'll give you a huge advantage. And because it'll be harder for him to see you coming, because you can just hide in the tree. And that would be pretty useful, because you could probably get a lucky shot or two off on him before he realizes where you are. Oh yeah, but on the server, I will sometimes change the map, so you'll like lose all your creations. Because my older brother just doesn't like sticking with the same thing. Says it just gets repetitive. And another thing is that if you're behind an object and there's a dude on the other side, like let me see if I can get my brother's name. He's in the receive box. If someone crouches behind a wall where you can't see through it, their name will be hidden. So they could use that to their advantage, do something like this. Be like, yeah, even though if they did it like that, you just go like, nope. And then you'd reach the end of the river. And there's also fighting at night. It's like, it's harder because I have my brightness all the way up, so I can easily see. But if people are playing on Moody, they'll have a lot of trouble seeing you. Like, let me just set it to Moody real quick. Yeah, like, it gets pretty dark out. So there's my brother hanging out at the lighthouse. Like, he's not that simple to see from like a distance. Like, from a long enough distance, I could actually maybe mistake him for some kind of zombie or something. Like, oh, zombie. Whoa. And then we'll start shooting. Now, long-range shots are really hard to pull off. Like, you could probably get, like, one hit off on a guy. Like, see, I just sniped him in, like, 5 shots. Now, fighting in the dark isn't very useful. So try to turn your brightness up or stay in a well-lit area. And also there's the element of surprise, which I think I've told you about this, but I'm just going to go through it again. Like, say there's a dude hanging out by this pit. You just charge over and go like, crit! Then you'll fall in, and you can just go like, slap, slap, slap. Alright, well that's the end of my video for today, and I'll see you all another time. Good luck on your adventures. Look at all these explosions. Ugh.